Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the range and highway fuel economy test of the 2021 Ford Escape plug-in hybrid. We're going to head out and do a city driving loop averaging about 35 miles per hour to see what sort of realistic EV range and mixed driving you can expect. Then we're going to go out on the highway and run for 100 miles at 70 miles per hour to see what sort of realistic fuel economy you can get after the battery's depleted. Let's jump right on into it. We've got our Grizzly Charger topped off the Escape here, ready to go. We do have the tires set to their door placard 33 PSI cold. There's a lot to like about the Escape plug-in hybrid. It is a good bit cheaper than a lot of its competition. It is front-wheel drive only, so that might be a deterrent for some of you, but still a lot to like. If you do want to see more on it, check the link in the description. We've got sound system test and a full review and a comparison with the RAV4 Prime. No sort of preconditioning for today, even though it is just below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Interestingly, the EPA expects this to get 38 miles on electric only, but the car is estimating only 33, so must have been driving it hard recently for it to estimate that range to be quite a bit lower. Turn it on here. We've got it in Eco Drive mode, and we're in all electric, so we're gonna just be in that. Got our climate control set to 68 degrees auto with one level of seat heat, no heated steering wheel. Reset our trip computer. Can we even do that right now? Come on. We're ready to begin. I am going to be driving it in L, so that should give us a little bit of extra regen as I let off the pedal. I just kind of prefer driving it that way. Why is the engine on? I am trying to do electric only right now, and the engine came on for some reason. It said for system performance. So I don't understand why that's happening. Is it because of my heat? You can see I'm in all electric driving mode. Let me try going back into EV later, and then putting it back into EV now. Engine enabled for system performance. I haven't even gotten on the gas hard. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to drive your Escape plug-in hybrid as only a PHEV or as only an EV for a little while. Your engine might still kick on. So that's a bit disappointing because that's not how we typically do this test. I've never had a hybrid vehicle do that. Maybe I can shut the car off. Okay, so I turned off the car and turned it back on while we were rolling there, and the engine seems to be off again. Let's see if that lasts. Alright, we seem to be able to be driving along now with just electric, so I don't know why the engine kicked down there in a minute, and that's going to mean our test is a little bit skewed, but we'll take about half a mile out of the final result and see what we get. So we're going to continue on with the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. I was just sitting there idling and the engine came back on. Again, it says for system performance. I was not on the gas hard at all. So this test is going to be a bit skewed, I guess. And if the engine doesn't shut off soon, then we're just going to probably cancel this portion because there's no point in testing the electric only range if it's not electric only. What I'm assuming is that the engine just wants to be warmed up enough, just kind of get enough heat in it so that it can come online should I need it to. But that's a bit unfortunate for people who do want to drive without using any gasoline, even on a colder morning like this. Not what I expected, and quite different from the RAV4 that we tested last night. We are at 25.1 electric miles with 1 mile remaining. That seems to be pretty accurate with the GPS. GPS is saying we've done 27.2 since we left the house, but keep in mind that engine was on for about a mile and a half or so. So probably just over 25 miles done on battery, and in the next mile we should hear the engine come on and also get the confirmation on the dash. It's a 14 kilowatt hour battery, which means we've been getting less than 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Really low number. To put that in perspective, our Model Y would be getting about 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour right now. We are running the heat, but only 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 37 degrees outside. And we've been averaging 35 miles per hour, so not super fast either. EPA does estimate 38 miles of electric only driving. You're not gonna get that, that's for sure. There it is, 26 miles of electric only driving here in some colder temperatures with the Escape plug-in hybrid. Not only is that a pretty low number compared to some of its competitors, but again, it just frustrates me. That's a huge percentage off of its EPA. EPA was 38 miles estimated and only got 26, whereas again, compared to the RAV4, estimated 42, got 42. I respect when companies can get it right and accurate like that. So let's head on over to our highway testing and see how the RAV4 does when it's just running on gas alone on the highway at 70 miles per hour.
All right, everyone. Well, if you haven't noticed, my hands have changed. Just kidding. This is Christopher Brower here, conducting my first fuel economy test. The god of fuel economy himself is right here.
Ready?
Hello.
Hello.
I've somewhat started my intro.
Okay.
All right, well, we've got the Escape filled up. Let's go ahead and get it started back up and get on the highway to conduct the fuel economy test. We're going to zero out this trip here. We've got our climate control set on 73 degrees auto, just to keep that consistent along the line of our fuel economy tests. No heated seats, no heated steering wheel, no plugged in Apple CarPlay. We've got nothing running right now to make this as pure as possible. So, all right, and here we go. Let's go ahead and cycle through these drive modes and get into the most economical mode possible, which is going to be eco mode, only one click away. And as we said earlier, we've got these plug-in hybrid batteries completely drained. This thing is down to 0 miles of range, so we are running a pure internal combustion engine fuel economy test. And in the first 0.1 miles, we've gotten 17 in the first 2 minutes. During this fuel economy test, we make sure to set our cruise control at 72 miles an hour on the highway. We verify that with a GPS on the phone, because sometimes the speedometer in the car is a little bit off, whether that be 1 mile an hour, whatever that is. We also make sure to drive very civilized and normal. Don't want to do any crazy sort of driving to skew our numbers. I will say, just at a civilized speed on the entrance ramp here, this Escape feels pretty light on its feet. It certainly feels quite a bit lighter than that RAV4 up there.
Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test portion on the 2021 Ford Escape plug-in hybrid, not too bad, really. We're getting 36 miles per gallon, according to the car's trip computer. It does say we spent almost 6 miles on just electric, so that was probably a mixture of getting off the different off-ramps and things like that. And other than that, this thing's not a bad highway cruiser. The seat is a little short, and there's a weird hump in the back of it. You can kind of see it right there. I don't want to look away from the road too long, but when you are sitting really far back, taller individual like this, longer legs, it's kind of a weird butt thing. But you got squishy places to put your elbows. It's actually pretty quiet in here, quieter than the RAV4. Sound system's okay. If you do want to see more on that, check the link in the description. We did a full review. Got the B&O 10-speaker system. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to get back to the pump here, charge it up, and see what we get. Put that together with the plug-in hybrid city portion and see how efficient this thing is. 2.996 gallons going in for our final fill. 108.5 divided by 2.996. It's giving us 36.21 miles per gallon, rounding down to 36. If I remember correctly, That's pretty spot on with what the car was reading. Yep, 36.6, 36.2, so yeah, right about 36 miles per gallon. A pretty small fuel tank in here, only 11.2 gallons, 11.2 times 36 miles per gallon, giving an effective highway cruising range of 400 miles here in the Escape plug-in hybrid just on gas alone. So let's get back and break down all the numbers after testing the electric-only portion of this car. A little bit of a flip-flop there. The RAV4 didn't do as well on the highway as it was supposed to, but it did meet its EPA for battery driving, and the Escape did not meet its EPA for battery driving, but did meet it on the highway. So the front-wheel drive Ford Escape might be a little bit better for a little bit more long-distance driving if you're not planning on driving it as an electric vehicle all the time. But if you want a car that's going to kind of really replace gasoline for you for your errands, your commute, things like that, the Escape might not be the best choice for you because, like I said, we had the engine kick on for us at the beginning there, even though we weren't driving it hard, and you can't go nearly as far as you might want to. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed those results. If you do want to see more on the RAV4, check the link in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.